My name is Don Whitefield. I'm the head coach of Barbados Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Premier Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Today we're at our school in Warrens. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is a martial arts that's very realistic, hands-on, but it does not include any kicks or punches. That might be one reason why Bajans have taken so much to it, because they're very friendly people, and it helps kids, adults of any age, defend against bullies without hurting them, but simply by controlling them. Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually started in Brazil, as it sounds like, and the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu has been hundreds of years old, and they brought it to Brazil about 150 years ago, but then they left, and they left the Brasileiros without any history or guidance, so they decided to make it more hands-on and functional. And when they started out first, it was definitely for the smaller persons to help defend against larger bullies. And over the years, has become very effective. It became fame in the UFC, but we're using it in a much more peaceful manner. We're using it to help kids become better human beings and defend themselves, stand up to bullies, and help with their determination and their correct character building. We started first off in Silver Hill. That was our first school. And we're very happy we did, because the people there don't have always the means to go to greater schools. So we were happy to start a school there and help the kids, because that's where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu started, in Sao Paulo and in Rio de Janeiro, in the poor quarters, helping people to become successful in life. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a great workout. It keeps you in fantastic shape, because while in the gym, you're often focused on the repetitions or trying to get your workout in, here you just focus on fighting your opponent and trying to win against your opponent. And what happens most of the time, people of all shapes and sizes come in, start training, and suddenly after half an hour, they go, holy, am I tired? That's the usual response you get. We're starting with age 3, and the earlier we start, the better, because kids at that age, they can distinguish between kicking, punching, and grappling. So we help them to start to control their feelings, keep their hands to themselves, and build their self-confidence, still to stand up against bullies, but without retaliating. That might be the most important part about Jiu-Jitsu. If you're kicking or punching somebody, you're necessarily just an aggressor at that point. Even if somebody punches you first, by the moment you punch back, you in turn into a bully. So for us, it's important that we never punch back, never kick back. We take the person down, we just sit on them, and you never get in trouble in school for sitting on someone. So this spring, my general manager, Felix, and me, we had the opportunity to go to public schools in Barbados. We trained almost 1,000 school kids of all ages, and it was a fantastic experience. A lot of these kids didn't have the means to martial arts, to get access to martial arts training. So we went into the schools and showed them anti-bullying classes, how to defend yourself against grips, against somebody slapping you, punching, pushing you on the ground. And it has been a huge success. That's all I can say. In the beginning, the principals were skeptical and were hesitant to get us into school. But as soon as they saw what we were doing, they asked us to come back over and over. So we're really happy to do that. We're going to continue to do it in the fall as soon as we can do it again, when we got the time. The people that we have trained here, adults, is really a lot of doctors, surgeons, lawyers, high-level people. And in the beginning, I couldn't quite understand, because that's not the usual response I had in Canada. It was more craftsmen, tradespeople coming to me. But here, somebody explained to me that allows them to just shut off and just be themselves and roll and train without having to be in charge all the time. So Jiu-Jitsu helps you to become yourself. When you're on the mat, you can't think about your next surgery or your last case you were pleading in court. You're just on the mat. You're just fighting the other person, trying to stay safe, trying to dominate and control the opponent. And maybe that's what it is about Jiu-Jitsu. It just allows them to switch off, and get in great shape while they're doing it. I tell often new students when they come to class, especially when they're out of shape, how much weight they're going to lose. And my experience has been just amazing. They lose 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds within a couple of months. I'm not kidding. It just falls off, because instead of trying to diet or trying to do a regimen in gym, they're just fighting, they're sparring. The adult classes are an hour and a half, and most of it is spent sparring. Now we're doing it very safe. You can always tap or say tap to keep yourself safe. But nevertheless, you're sparring, fighting another human being at full force, trying to control them while they try to control you. I think Jiu-Jitsu has become so popular because it allows a smaller, average person to defeat a much bigger, stronger opponent. It uses leverage and technique versus strength. So it's not like wrestling, where you out-wrestle somebody by applying strength against strength. But you're using a lot of techniques that are counterintuitive, something you wouldn't think of. I know you told me earlier that you think Jiu-Jitsu looks very simple, but it's actually quite complicated, because often your instinct tells you to do one thing while we tell you to do another. Now, I'm an old guy. I come from Western Canada. I immigrated here 3 years ago with my wife, and we found a home here in Barbados. And I still got a lot of black belts in Canada. And in order to stay in touch with them, I got my own video membership site. I got more than 1,600 techniques on this website. And it's only a little fraction of Jiu Jitsu. So it's a chess game. Maybe another reason why high-level people are attracted to this. It's an unconscious chess game. When somebody moves against you, you need to react to them, but you can't do it in strength. You can't do it with violence. You got to feel what's going on, and you got to react in a correct manner. Jiu-Jitsu has a lot of health benefits, but beyond the obvious, if you're training martial arts, you're exercising, there's something very unusual happening in Jiu-Jitsu. I've a lot of people come in, adults, grown men, and you see by the way they look, their appearance, and their posture, they don't have a lot of confidence. They get bypassed at work. They might not have the most successful relationships. And when they start training, and they know they can't stand up for themselves, and there's nothing more powerful than looking at somebody's eyes and say, I don't worry about nothing. There's nothing you can do to me. And I see them transform from people that are very timid, even though they're big guys often, turning into guys that have leadership skills and developing the characteristics because they know they can back up what they're saying at any time. And that goes back to the kids as well. It's okay to teach martial arts, and I love all martial arts, but Jiu-Jitsu is one of the few martial arts where you can back up what you say. When another kid pushes you, you know how to take them down, you know how to sit on them and control them. So you talked about the benefits. For me, one of the biggest benefits is on the inside. While we talked about the kids gaining confidence, there's something else happening. They're building empathy. If you have to live in fear of a bully because you're afraid to get attacked, versus you got the confidence that nobody can do anything to you, you deal differently with bullies. We teach our kids to have empathy for the bully. We say, you never know what happens to this child at home. You don't know, maybe their mom is sick, maybe there's medication they need. Always deal with empathy with the bully. That does not mean they're allowed to touch you, push you, or slap you. But other of that, once you're safe, we want you to deal with that person like making them your friend, trying to be friends with them. Now, for the adults coming back to their self-confidence, of course, it makes a huge difference to have a successful relationship if you're good about yourself, if you know you can stand up for yourself and you're in fantastic shape.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Danielle Reed Malilo and I'm a general physician, and today we're going to talk about knowing your risk for obesity. In Barbados, overall, 2 out of 3 adults are overweight and 1 out of 3 adults are obese. Also, in children, 1 in every 3 child is overweight or obese. There are some health parameters that you should know about yourself. These parameters are your blood pressure, your HbA1c and fasting blood sugar, your weight, and your BMI. At home, you should have a blood pressure monitor, a glucometer, which is a blood sugar machine, and a scale. And from time to time, you should document these readings, and you should also be familiar with these readings. You can also take a diary with the readings to your doctor so they can better help manage your condition.
Hi, I'm Carl Padmore, Public Relations Officer of the Sanitation Service Authority. Maybe you would have witnessed roadkill, or you would have passed the highway or a byway and seen a dead animal. We want you to report it to one of the numbers coming across the screen. We'll come and we'll remove that dead animal. Also, if you have an animal who has passed away at your home, we prefer you to do it the legal way than to throw it into the gully, contaminate the gully, and then we have problems. Barbados, we love our environment. Let us care our environment. Therefore, the correct way to dispose of dead animals, call the number coming across the screen. We are here to help you. The SSA cares. Clean thoughts, clean living, clean nation.
As Barbadians prepare for the Atlantic hurricane season, here is some basic information for every household. A gallon of water per day per person for consumption to cover about 2 weeks. At the very least, a 3-day supply of dry goods and canned foods. An adequate supply of prescription and non-prescription medication, along with a first aid kit. You will need to stock up on hygiene supplies like toilet paper, toothpaste, and soap. If you have a baby, you should ensure you have extra diapers and wipes, as well as any special food items. You should ensure you have flashlights, batteries, and a portable radio. At this time of year, Barbadians are advised to avoid buying excess meat, frozen foods, and other items that require refrigeration in the event that electricity is lost for an extended period of time. This would result in spoilage and a wastage of money.
The Barbados Police Service is a dynamic organization which caters to the needs of all residents by providing excellent customer service within our communities. We are excited to inform you that we are recruiting new members to our ranks and welcome your participation.
We are building the Barbados Police Service within our communities. Are you smart, skillful, motivated, ambitious, reliable, and talented?
Smart to fulfill your life's dream.
Smart to chart career opportunities.
Smart to make a difference.
Smart to pursue economic sustainability.
Smart to enable change.
Smart to provide public service.
I say to you today, if you have a love for people, if you enjoy nurturing your communities and taking care of persons, then definitely the Barbados Police Service, of which I am a proud member, is the place for you. So I encourage you, lend us a hand, join us now to help keep Barbados safe.
Come join us, join me in making our country a safer Barbados.
Your place is here in the Barbados Police Service.
Come, join our ranks and chart a career of economic sustainability. Make that difference as an agent of change while providing public service as you fulfill your life's dream.
You know, I've been here just 1 year. We started September 1st, 2022, and we just crossed today 300 members. My general manager told me. I think that tells you how much Bajans are attracted by the peacefulness of the martial art. They're not violent people, they don't like fighting, but they do want to know that their kids are safe, can stand up for themselves. Women come along to me and say, hey, I want to feel safe. And there's no better way than out-grapple somebody. Yes, we learn how to choke people, but sometimes it's the most peaceful way to end a confrontation, because in the end, all they do is go to sleep. We have police trained with us, we have wardens trained with us, and we have a lot of military personnel trained with us as well. All of them see the necessity of Jiu Jitsu. So when we started training here, these people were very welcoming to me. They said, we've got to start a school. One of the business owners provided his space, they provided the mats, and we got the school going from scratch at that point. So since we started to build the school, we had a lot of these officials come into us, a lot of soldiers telling us that right now they're doing PT, they're working very hard, but they don't do any close combat. Now, the military here, the Barbados Defense Force and the police have many functions where they interact with the public. For example, if you go to crop over, you see all of them there trying to keep the peace. And you just can't go kick and punch people. That's the only training they had so far. I like all martial arts, but you can't kick and punch people only because they're drunk or behave disorderly. So these people train with us, recognizing how important it is. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu has been the fastest growing martial arts worldwide. But 8 years ago, when I would travel, I would have to go to judo schools to train abroad, in Europe and other countries. Today, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is in every country of the planet, from China to Russia. So when these people come here and train with us, they know it's necessary for their job. We always help military and police to train with us, and we offer them free services. So far, we have not been quite successful to have them hire us. We talked to the commissioner of the police. And we hope to set up a formal program to help every single recruit to learn some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu so they can interact with the public in a friendly and peaceful way. There's a couple of benefits. You're not going to use the force so early if you know you can defend yourself and can subdue an opponent without the gun or the taser. But it also keeps you safe because these personnel, they have to go home with their family, with their kids. And I appreciate the police protecting us. We want to keep them safe, but also the people they're arresting. The police tells us that out of 10 fights, 9 end up on the ground. So I appreciate judo and wrestling where the focus is to throw you on the ground. But the fact is that's when the fight starts. That's when the police officer and the military guys have to be able to subdue and control the opponent. That's where Jiu-Jitsu comes in. Because the techniques in Jiu-Jitsu are very hands-on. I like to show many techniques, but if one doesn't work, if it's not 100% realistic, I won't teach it. It has to work from somebody who's smaller against somebody bigger, and somebody who's the same size. It has to work for a woman against a man. So what we're using is we're grappling, we're clinching, we're taking people down, we control them on the ground. There's basically 4 positions in Jiu-Jitsu. One is when you're laying on your back, defending yourself. One is when you're laying on top of a person. One is when you're sitting on top of a person. And when you're behind a person, grabbing them. Jiu-Jitsu shows you what to do when a stranger grabs your hands. She bends her arm, she steps back, and Shenya is free. Now, it looks very simple, but a lot of people don't do that. When they get grabbed, they try to pull their arm straight, and she won't be able to free it. But she puts her thumb up, bends the elbow, steps back, she will get out. Now, many people don't believe that it works, but you can try it at home. Double grip, you can grab your fist, step back, and you will get out, because my thumbs are the weakest link. Another technique we teach is, what happens when somebody grabs you from behind? Should she headbutt me? Should she foot stomp me or kick me in the groin? No, all she's going to do is she makes herself heavy so I can't pick her up. She opens the umbrella and spins around and she's free. What do I do when I grab her around the belly? She puts her thumbs inside. She makes herself heavy so I can't pick her up. She puts a big belly forward and frees herself and turns around. All right. The 4 positions of Jiu-Jitsu. The first thing is, if I try to slap her, she's going to block. So eventually, I'm going to give up. I'm going to push her on the ground. She falls safely and get her feet up. Your legs are 10 times stronger than your arms, so it's going to be very hard for me to get to her. If I try to punch her, I'm probably going to get kicked, and I won't be able to get on top. Go defend with your legs. Defend with your legs. Can't grab, so I can't get on top of her. That's the first position. The second position is when she comes on top of me, and she pins me in side mount. So this is the time when she can talk to me because now she's on top and controlling me and I can't escape from here. The third position is when she sits on top on mount. This is usually the time to talk to the bully and say, hey, what's wrong with you? How come you're punching me? And the very last position, most powerful, especially for females, when somebody attacks them, is to go to the back because now the attacker can't even see what happens behind her and it makes it easy for her to choke me out. Go ahead. From these 4 positions, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu evolves. We got a lot of transitions from one position to the other, and we got submissions. Yes, we teach people how to choke out people. However, as aggressive as it seems, it is actually very peaceful. The judokas have been choking judokas for hundreds of years, and they have measured the brain waves many times. There's no damage to the brain or anything if you know how to choke somebody properly. I cannot imagine a more peaceful outcome when a man attacks a woman and the woman gets to the back of the man and puts him to sleep. She can walk away, and when he wakes up, it's all over and he's fine.